We're going to make some more cards today. It doesn't matter how much you change your surroundings to try and pretend it's spring. Sometimes in February it can still feel pretty cold. Sheepy's still got his jumper on and it's still a little bit cold and wintry. So we need to think about hope for the future. And in the gardens at the moment there are lots of snowdrops. So a combination of my husband over ordering on white paper. So I thought, oh, what can I do with white paper? And looking at those snowdrops, I've invented this card. And this card is a snowdrop card and I'm going to call it a hope card. Hope for the future. There are two different types of snowdrop on here and I'm going to show you both of them. So we've got this one here and we've got this slightly more delicate one here. So what do we need for our cards? As ever, we're going to need some card. And you just need to give a little thought at the moment to what colour the background of your card is going to be. White's not going to be any good, is it? Because we're not going to be able to see the snowdrops. That's the same thing with green, because there's only white and green in there. So we're not going to be able to see it on there. If you have a really, really dark colour like these ones, then you're not going to be able to see your writing unless you're using a white pen. So I have used the white pen on this one here. That's there. I've used a slightly less effective white pen on that one actually. It was a slightly different brand and it didn't work quite as well. But if you go for something in between, you could go either way. So we're not going to do those bits of card. I've chosen this nice pale blue one. But it's up to you what you want to do with your card. So I have a piece of card like that and I'm going to have to fold it. But you can buy pre-bought ones. If you only have white card, then you could put yourself a coloured background on there. With some paper, you know, cut that out and stick that on as we did with the teacup card last week. So you've got yourself your card blank, you've got a ruler and pencil and a green felt tip pen. You also need some green paper. Now you don't need both of those things. You can just do the whole thing with green felt tip pen like that one if you want to. If you don't have any green paper, you can do it like that and all of it can be done. Or you can go mad adding your little bits of grass on like that. Now I do have green craft paper, so I'm going to be using that. But that's the remains of a green heart and you only need a small amount of green paper. So for a magazine you can easily find a tiny bit of green if that's what you want to do. Okay, and the main thing that we're going to need today is one sheet of A4 paper, of white A4 paper and some scissors to start with. Okay. So I'm just going to clear some of those things out of the way so that we've got a little bit of space and show you how you're going to start. So you've got your piece of A4 paper and you're going to fold it in half. Now normally I say in half's not that easy, but actually today we're going to fold lots and lots of ways, so it doesn't really matter which half you choose, because after you've done that one, you're then going to fold it in half the other way as well. Now I'm opening it up in between because I found that the folds weren't quite as neat when I didn't open it in between, but it's not absolutely essential. So we've done that, we folded it in half one way and we folded it in half the other way as well, like that. And then we're going to fold it in half again. And all I'm doing is creating some little rectangles. That's all I'm doing, and you can perfectly well measure these rectangles as well. I just prefer folding to measuring. But you can get out your ruler and your pencil if you like. So now, as well as folding it that way and that way, I've now also folded it that way. And I'm going to do one last fold. I'm making good folds. I don't even need to mention that nowadays. I'm making it go like that. And now when I open it up, we have a piece of A4 paper with lots and lots of small rectangles on it. Okay, so we're opening it up like that and we have lots and lots of rectangles, and those rectangles are going to be cut out. Now don't worry too much about making it perfect because we can do that in a second. The other alternative you can do is get out your ruler and your pencil and do all of that with measuring. Measure, measure, measure. Do that way. See you on the other camera and I'll show you how to do the folds that will make our little snowdrops. I realised that I forgot to tell you to get a glue stick, so I hope you realise we always need a glue stick for that. So here's a little slightly closer up look. So I would call this the slightly simpler snowflake with the fold there. I'm just showing you that you can put your finger inside there like that, so it's a little bit 3D. And then this one is sticking up even further. You can see the shadows it's creating there that show you that. Now these ones are the slightly larger ones. You can also make these super tiny versions because of course snowdrops are actually quite small. But it is easier to learn by doing it slightly bigger at the beginning. So I've just put this piece of paper here because I've got a white tablecloth, having told you not to use white card. So I'm just going to show you how to make this one first. So that's the one that we're going to look at first. So we folded our piece of A4 paper like this, and now I've opened it out and I've cut one of the shapes out there. And you have got approximately, this is now 7 centimetres by 5 centimetres. Okay, so our little piece of paper is like that. I recommend practicing on a bigger piece of paper like this, and then I'll give you the measurement for the one that goes on the card afterwards, but just practice using a slightly bigger piece of paper. This is only A4 white paper, so it's fine for you to use it up. So the first fold we're going to make is just a simple 1 in half like that. So this is number 1 fold, just across where I've done it like that. Okay, so that's number 1. I'm going to put that there. Then number 2 fold, we are going to open it back out again. So we've gone like that, and then we've opened it out again, and we're going to fold in this way and this way, like a little house. So we've got that folded that way and that way, which is this number 2 fold here. So you can see that that's going like that and there. You know where your central point is because you can see it on the fold from that one, and then you're going to fold those 2 in, and you're keeping this way up. We're not doing any turning over this time. Number 3 fold is now this one. So we've got this here. We're going to go up to the top and we're going to fold that in. As we fold that in, and we carefully do it, it's coming down to make this point here. So if you look at where that one is, that's where we're going, like that. And then we're folding in, and as ever, making ourselves a good fold, keeping it all on the same side. And then the same thing on the other side. And there's absolutely no need for you to turn it over like that, as I just did. Okay. So if you're pausing the video, or you could pause it here. Number 1 fold, number 2 fold, number 3 fold, and then you've got that. Now the thing that we're going to do now is we're going to snip the end off. Don't go mad with this, just the little pointy end off, because flowers don't have that pointy end on. So we're just going to do that to make that shape that we've got now, and we just need to snip off the end, making it look a bit more flower-like. Now if you only have a green felt tip pen, you could absolutely just colour this bit in green now if you want to. You could just get your green felt tip pen and do that, and that's fine. It just looks a little bit better if you cover it with a tiny piece of green paper. So I'm going to cut off a piece of green paper like this and give it a little curve along the bottom. Don't give too much stress about this, just give it a little curve like that to make it more natural, and then put it on. Decide where you want it. You don't want it right down here, it's only the tiny top bit that you're doing. So put it like that and fold it back following the line of your paper. Okay, so I'm going to fold it like that. There's no need to be holding it up in the air really like I'm doing. I've got all that excess bit there, so I'm going to cut it off. And again, I don't want that pointy top because that's not what snowdrops look like, so I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to get my glue stick and stick that down. Okay. So I'm going to get a bit of glue and put it on there. If you find yourself with loads of excess like that, you can cut it off or you can stick it down. It's absolutely up to you. You don't need to worry about that either way. Just remember when you're sticking it down that you want to be looking at the bit with the slit on, which mimics the petals of your snowdrop. So we're going to have a bit of glue on the back, stick that down, and then stick that onto your card. Now you'll notice, of course, that this one is too big because you were practicing on a bigger one. When you've decided you're happy with that fold, the one that makes this size, which is exactly the one that I've got on the card there, the measurement is 5 centimetres by 3.5 centimetres. Okay, so I have written that in pencil on there, but you can't see it. So I'm now going to just write it again. 5 centimetres on that side by 3.5 centimetres on this side. And if you make yourself a little piece of paper, which is that size, and then you fold it, you will end up with that one, which will fit perfectly. Now on this one, I just kept experimenting with slightly smaller ones and smaller and smaller and smaller until you couldn't do it. Okay, so that's where we are just at the moment. So we've got that one, and that's how we did it. 5 centimetres by 3 centimetres, and those 3 folds. Okay, can you hear some meowing in the background there? That's somebody who wants some attention while our director just takes him out of the screen. So now we're going to have a look. So that was our first one. Oh, I've realised I've only told you half of it. Once you've stuck it down like that, you now need to draw yourself a stalk, and you can do the stalk with just felt tip pen if you have a look at that. Now, hold off with the leaves for a moment because I'll tell you that when it's on the other one. So for our second Snowdrop card, you need to get yourself another one from your original folded piece of paper. And again, we're going to make it just a little bit bigger to start with practicing. So we're going to start with our familiar fold, the one that we always do. But this time we need a square. So fold like that. And you're going to end up with this bit. And you need to snip that off. And then get rid of it. Although actually you can use that to make a teeny tiny snowdrop of either sort. So we'll put that away. But we want a square to start with. And the best way is just to cut it like that and fold across. So we're doing that. This time we're keeping it folded. Now fold number 2 on this one. We're going to have it that way up, pointy triangle side up. And we're going to take this bit and fold it down. Now we want quite a big overlap here. We want a nice big triangle-y bit sitting down because that's going to form this part here. So we want to have a nice big triangle sitting down. So you want about 2/3 of the way down and give yourself a fold like that. And then fold number 3 is going to pull in the sides. Now you want about 1 centimetre left at the top there, or even 1/2 centimetre, just a space. So you're not folding it in perfectly, you're just going to fold like that. And then like that. So that you have a space in between. I've left 1 centimetre there, 1/2 centimetre there, it doesn't matter. So just practice around a little bit and make sure you push those folds down so that you're happy with that. 1, 2, 3, fold. When you're happy with that, you want to make a smaller one, and it's 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres. Okay, so a 4 centimetre square is what you want to make one that is that size, which is the size that I've used on there. On the others, we've used really tiny ones as well. So just experiment once you're happy with that fold at making sure you've got it. Now for the other part, we are going to use a tiny piece of green felt, not felt, although you could use felt, I suppose, card that I've just cut off from the edge. And again, a triangle with just the edge off. And we're going to put that down on the top. And that forms this little part here. Now I've put felt tip pen stalks on because it's quite difficult to do it either way. But for these nice little 3D leaves on here, you get yourself another piece of green. So you're here with your green and you're going to make a rough leaf shape. One big leaf, like that. Okay, so pointy at either end, one big leaf. We're then going to fold that in half, like that. And when you stick it down, you're only putting a little bit of glue on this bit, which lets you have that lovely little bit on there, the lovely little 3D bit of the leaves. So they're sticking up. You can absolutely stick down just one leaf as well if that's what you want to do. If you don't have any kind of paper at all, feel absolutely free to do all of that in felt tip pen, like that. So you can just add, you could do a combination like that one, all just in felt tip pen, or the 3D leaves like that. So now your cards are all ready. Once you've stuck them together and added those bits on, you can write your words on and you will be all ready to go. If you're struggling at all with writing the words, remember there was a whole course on calligraphy a little while ago now, it was last summer, but you could have a look back and I'd take you through lots of different styles of writing. So you could do the brush lettering one, which is what I've chosen here, or any other way. Of course, choose any word. You could put happy birthday if it happens to be somebody's birthday at this time of year as well. So I hope those snowdrops inspire you to keep hoping for the future and our crafting keeps us going. And I will see you back again next week for a lot more crafting fun. Bye.